Hello. Okay, so today I'm going to be playing Historic for the first time, at least for the first time on this channel. I've only recently started playing Historic after I realized that there was this deck that I wanted to build in Pioneer that actually most of the cards are also in Historic, so I figured, hey, why not? This is called Claim to Fame. Now, before we actually start playing, let's go ahead and take a look at the deck. We'll explain it real quick. You can ignore all this. I've ended up having to clean out a lot of stuff. So these are a bunch of new cards that I got from the draft last time around. So, first of all, this one does have a companion. It's Lurrus of the Dream Den, which the only restriction is all of the permanents have to cost 2 or less. And because of the nature of this deck, that's not that hard to do. This deck also got an upgrade after Zendikar Rising came out, and we will go over that here in a little bit. But let's go ahead and start with the all-star of the deck, Archfiend's Vessel. Now, on its own, the card sucks. However, when you recast it from the graveyard, it becomes a 5/5 black demon with flying, and as you will see most likely during gameplay, that can happen on turn 2, on turn 3, and it's absolutely devastating to the board. With Spark Harvest, there's 3 copies of it. It's removal, it hits creatures, it hits planeswalkers. Why not use it? Stitcher's Supplier, when it enters the battlefield or dies, you mill 3 cards. This is a graveyard-centered deck, so that's going to be pretty important. Village Rites, because being able to kill Stitcher's Supplier or Archfiend's Vessel at a whim is good, and then drawing 2 cards on top of that is even better. And when you can do all of that for 1 mana, it just makes this an auto-include. Claim to Fame, this is the namesake card of the deck. So essentially what this is we're trying to find cards that have a low converted mana cost that we can recur from the graveyard. And in this case, we're specifically choosing cards that are better after they've been recurred. So Claim says, return target creature with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And Fame says that creature gets 2 plus 2/+0 and haste until end of turn. So our absolute golden play, Archfiend Vessel on turn 1, or a way to put an Archfiend Vessel into the graveyard on turn 1. And then claim it or claim to fame it on turn 3. Now there are other things that we can do, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But essentially, yeah, the whole focus is you get big creatures out, and then you make them swing for a lot of damage. Next we have a Braid. This is our secondary remover spell in here. You can either do 3 damage to a creature or destroy an artifact. I really wish it said enchantment, because that's been the biggest thing I've been dealing with that's been destroying me, is just enchantments that do a lot of work. As a matter of fact, earlier I got absolutely thrashed by a shrine deck, and I was pretty unhappy about that. Blood Rage Brawler, a card from Amonkhet that can very easily be overlooked, but is an absolute necessity in this deck, especially when we combo with a card that we'll be looking at a little bit later. This one, I literally just said, it's a 2 mana for 4/3, and it says when it enters the battlefield, discard a card. I don't mind discarding cards, if I'm being entirely honest, and the fact that this can be hit from the graveyard with Claim to Fame, Lurrus, and the other card that we'll be looking at a little bit later makes it even better. We have Cathartic Reunion, pitch 2 and draw 3. We like discarding cards. We like drawing cards after discarding them. We also have 3 copies of Throw Possibility, which is discard 1, draw 2. And I thought it was, probably not a bad idea to have this as opposed to more Cathartic Reunions, because you don't always have 2 cards in your hands, and even when you do, you don't always want to throw all of them in the graveyard. Got 2 copies of Kroxa, Titan of Death's Hunger. This card, it either does a lot of work or it does nothing at all, unfortunately. But basically, when it enters the battlefield, it gets sacked unless it has escaped. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, each opponent discards a card, and if they didn't discard a non-land, they lose 3 life. So essentially, it doesn't matter if this one starts in the graveyard or not, it will most likely do work. We have obviously a lot of stuff going to the grave, and so resurrecting Kroxa is not that hard. As a matter of fact, resurrecting the same Kroxa several times is not that hard. the EBT, or the fact that that ability goes off on EBT and attacks, is pretty awesome. And then, of course, it is a 6/6, which is awesome. Call of the Death Dweller might be the only, or might be the best card in this deck. Because not only do you get 2 cards with total converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard onto the battlefield, but you can put a Death Touch counter on one and put a Menace counter on one, and they can be the same one. So, like, the absolute golden play is figure out a way to get a Blood Rage Brawler and an Archfiend Vessel into the graveyard, recur both of them, give the Blood Rage Brawler Menace and Death Touch, Archfiend Vessel becomes a 5/5, and for 3 mana, you have a 5/5 with Flying and a 4/3 with Menace and Death Touch. How ridiculous is that? Is this a green-blue deck? I don't know. It is freaking nuts. And then, of course, with the release of Zendikar Rising, I had to include this little gem, because this is a great late-game option card where if you've got a bunch of stuff in your graveyard, you can just resurrect it all at once. So I have 2 of them in there, plus the fact that you can use it as a land is definitely not bad. Speaking of lands, we have 2 copies of Castle Locthwain, 2 copies of Castle Embereth, 3 Blood Crypts because I don't have 4 right now, 4 Fabled Passages, and then 4 each of Swamps and Mountains. Although, now that I think about it, I forgot to check to see something. Let's do not collected as well. They have Dragon Skull summons, so we're going to add them real quick. And I already own one too. Okay, cool. That one's a rare. I have 4 rares available. Do I want another Blood Crypt, or do I just want to get a couple of Dragon Skull summons? Let's do 3 Dragon Skull summons. So cut a mountain, a swamp, and then another swamp, because we have other black land options. So we'll craft all, finish deck, call it done. And that'll be it. So, I'm already confident in my ability to pull off a handful of wins with this deck. Let's go ahead and show it off, because honestly, this is one of the most OP decks I've ever had, and I've got to say I'm only a little bit ashamed that it was not originally my idea, but I will say, additionally, that, okay, we're going to keep 7. I did make some modifications in comparison to the original version that I saw. So I don't like that this hand didn't have a land that would come in untapped, but we'll deal with it. Okay, this is kind of weird. So they've got a key, and what are they doing here? It's kind of hard to tell. Okay, why are we glitching? Come on, dude. Alright, Castle Locthwain, Stitcher Supplier. Get some stuff into the graveyard. Ideally, next turn I get a land, and there's also some good stuff in the grave. Alright, well there is one good stuff in the grave, and it is a Blood Rage Brawler. So at the very least, I can claim to fame that. Okay, well at the very least I can claim that. Actually, well, yeah, that's the direction we're going to go. We will go ahead and claim it. Claim the Blood Rage Brawler. Put a Blood Rage Brawler into the graveyard. And I spent 1 less mana for my Blood Rage Brawler. How cool is that? Now we are going to... I think we're going to do a Village Rites on our Stitcher Supplier, just because we really need to get some lands. And I just milled 2 of them. And I got one. Okay, cool. So we'll go ahead and put this down. I'm thinking we're probably going to go to the swamp with it. Rough. But it's okay. We will doubtlessly end up benefiting in the long run. Whoa, 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 whoa. What is this nonsense? Well, I guess it's a good thing we have a Braid, because we're going to destroy that. Yeah, that was not going to fly, not in the slightest. Now we will go ahead and play another Stitcher Supplier. Okay, hold up real quick. Let's take a look here. Right now, I know we have a Blood Rage in the grave. I got some Stitcher suppliers. So we can call it a Death Dweller if we want to. But I don't see that happening. I wonder if he's going for like some kind of weird Tronless Tron build. That's what makes sense to me. Yeah, this looks like some type of Tronless Tron stuff. So we need to obstruct this in every single way physically possible. Well, that just got a little bit easier by getting a braid. So I think what we will do is we'll cast a braid, destroy a Paladinmer, and then we will use Spark Harvest. We will sacrifice the Stitcher Supplier and get rid of the other Paladinmer. Because every little bit of ramp that he has is just going to make him get that much closer to his goal of beating us, which we obviously do not want. Alright, now we got that out of the way, let's do some damage. With any luck, we should be able to more or less just flush him out of resources and then still have plenty available to us. I still don't have an Archfiend's Vessel in the graveyard, which I really would like to have, but beggars can't be choosers. But actually, we can. We can go ahead and cast an Archfiend's Vessel, and then cast Village Rites to sacrifice that Archfiend's Vessel. And next turn we can call the Death Dweller for our Magnificent Hand. That was some BS. I guess we'll just cast this one so we have something to block with, or just do a little extra damage. Blood Rage Brawler comes in for another 4 points of damage. You know, for floating on 3 mana, we are doing remarkably well, if I do say so myself. Alright, time to call. We are going to call Blood Rage Brawler and Archfiend's Vessel. Here's that golden play I was telling you about. Boom! Death Touch counter on Blood Rage Brawler, Menace counter on Blood Rage Brawler. That turns into a demon. That sends an Archfiend's Vessel to the graveyard for us to play again later, and now we do 5 points of damage. But next turn we can do way more than that, unless they figure out a way to destroy our entire board. Which is not to say that they won't, but I don't think they will. And even if we do, we have another call of the Death Dweller in hand. That was the it! That was the it. That was it. Yep. See, and we struggled, and we managed to make all of that happen off of 3 lands. That's it. That is how hilariously powerful this deck is. What do we get? We got a Migration Path, and Trana the Last Blood Chief, huh? What does this do? When it EBFs, or no, when it attacks, choose a knowledge creature in your graveyard. You turn to the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. That's hilarious. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, there are some decks I would like to build with that. So we'll just go ahead and claim that prize, and then yeah, let's play another Claim to Fame. I'm telling you, that art looks like if Karn was built on Zendikar. It's hilarious. Burger's Dad. That is a hilarious name. Okay, cool. We have Archfiend, we have Village Rites, we have Call, we have Thrill, we have Aghanim's Awakening, and we have a Swamp. The Swamp is the really important part, because without the Swamp, you can't cast the black cards. I'm only half kidding. You know, I'm not gonna lie, that does not look like the demon that's coming out of the ghost of the Archfiend's Vessel. Aghanim's Awakening looks so sick. It really does, doesn't it? Our opponent is really mulling over that mulligan, aren't they? Ain't that something? It's just taking forever. You planning to play today? Come on, dude. What in the world? I think they're AFK. Okay, well, I don't know what's going on that side, but I'm really hoping they aren't AFK. Really? You're not even AFK? What was the point of that whole delay? Come on, dude. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and play Archfiend's Vessel. The plan is obviously kill it with the Village Rites. And maybe we'll kill it with the Spark Harvest? No. We are going to play Castle Locthwain, Village Rites, destroy the Archfiend's Vessel, because that thing is way more useful in the graveyard. And I guess we're passing from here. So we got 2 Aghanims. Check it out, Claim to Fame, cool. So, what I'm thinking is Fabled Passage. I know we could just use the Dragon Skull Summit, but I, at this point, no longer think it's necessary to continue getting... Oh, that's right, it comes in untapped. I should have thought about that. Oh well, live and learn. Instead, we are going to Claim to Fame the Archfiend's Vessel, because, hey, a 5/5 on turn 3 is never bad. And we win the turn. Put 3+1/+1 counters on target creature you control. Well, I have a feeling that target creature is possibly going to be dying next turn. We will see. Oh, they got the Castle Garenbergs. That could really work out in my favor. They don't have any basic lands over there, though, too. That's what's funny. They got Gingerbread Caverns. They got Garenberg Castles. There's stuff there in Fantasyland casting Euro in Games and Growth Chamber Guardians. Because I guess Eldraine supports that too. Really? Now that is some great ABS. Well, this may not be the most favorable option, but I am going to go ahead. I'm gonna put this down as a tap land. Play a Blood Rage Brawler. I'm gonna pitch the other Aghanim's Awakening. I know it's kind of weird, but I'm not expecting us to go late game. That's not what I was trying to do. This glitch is really annoying the hell out of me. Then I'm gonna Spark Harvest the Blood Rage Brawler to destroy that thing. So we have the Blood Rage Brawler in the grave for us to pull with the Death Dweller Leader. Best case scenario, next turn we pull Archfiend's Vessel, play Dragon Skull Summit. Okay, that's not what happened. But we did get a Blood Rage Brawler, so that's a thing. And unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to throw it in the grave. So, throw a possibility, put the Blood Rage Brawler in the graveyard. Hopefully grab a few things that are more helpful. Hopefully. If it ever resolves. Okay, well, I definitely got helpful things. But the concept of more helpful seems to be lost. So, we're just going to go ahead and put Lurrus in the hand and pass the turn. Next turn, at the very least, we can cast Lurrus and start bringing stuff back. Assuming we don't just get the Archfiend's Vessel. Well, even if we did, we'd still have to figure out a way to get it into the grave at this point. I'm really sad that this rotated out of standard, because now my Symbiosis deck is not nearly as good as it used to be. Oh look, Archfiend's Vessel. That's good. Alright, we're gonna cast that. We are going to cast Lurrus of the Dream Den. And we're gonna cast... Yeah, we're gonna cast Blood Rage Brawler. I think we're gonna discard... Call of the Death Dweller, maybe? Don't give him the options. With any luck, we'll figure out a way to kill Archfiend's Vessel this turn, which shouldn't be that hard if they choose to attack. And then we can cast Call of the Death Dweller to get the other Blood Rage Brawler, as well as the Archfiend's Vessel, and then we'll be able to start dominating the game again. I say again like I've actually been dominating the game at all. Right now, I think the saving grace is none of his stuff has trample yet. Because that would really do us in at this point. Okay, good. They are attacking. Alright, so I think I'm obviously going to have to take some damage here. But... we're also going to get our golden spot. Now he might pump that Growth Chamber Guardian. I don't know what he's got in his hand. Yeah, he did. Oh well, I was hoping for a death. Didn't happen. Alright, we're going to go ahead and play Call of the Death Dweller. Get the Blood Rage Brawler. I don't know why it's not letting me select stuff. There we go. Archfiend's Vessel, Blood Brawler, put the Death Touch counter, put the Menace counter. Make the Demon. Actually, instead of that, I think I might play Fame. Yeah. Because we really want that fire to come in and do a lot of damage. Well, that's just not very nice now, is it? It's okay. I still have Death Touch. I have a Death Toucher. I will touch you to death. That sounds creepy. Thinking real hard. He's thinking, oh, that's a Blood Rage Brawler with Death Touch. If I swing into that, my creatures are gonna die, but if I let him swing, I'm most likely going to be facing a lot of damage. Oh, he's playing a Poland Bright Druid. That's actually really bad. Oh, goodness. See, if he was playing Pioneer, he could have had scales in that thing. And this would be a lot worse. Alright, I unfortunately think I'm gonna have to sack the Blood Rage Brawler here. But that takes care of one little beat stick. Okay, cool. Oh, shoot. Well, I think I'm just gonna have to cast 2 copies of Blood Rage Brawler. There. I didn't realize you could only cast 1. Well, let's roll the dice with this and see what happens. I got a land. Luckily it's a land that'll help me not get lands in the future. I could really use a Kroxa right now. I want to attack with Lurrus. Oh, they might actually double block here. Nope, they just took 3. Woo! Lifelink! Saving my life, 1 lifelink at a time. I honestly did not realize that. I'm not super familiar with Lurrus. I only added it to the deck as a companion when I realized that you could do that. Is he gonna do something, or...? Alright. Alright, he's swinging in for 5. Yeah. I have to block. Well, we can play cast Embereth, we can cast the Blood Rage Brawler. Once again, activate the cast Locthwain. And once again attack, but I think I'm done for after this. Taking a look at it, it's not very likely I'm going to get another Call of the Death Dweller, and I've been top decking forever, not really getting anything out of it either. So this is very likely the end, and it's only been taking forever. But still, I've been able to pull off some pretty cool plays. Actually, I just realized I'm dead on board. Yeah. Alright, I'll just take my fate. Alright, well, Claim to Fame did not work against the Mono Green deck. We still got some interesting gameplay out of that, but ultimately, we're gonna have to try again. So, let's see, we've got time for one more round. Let's see one more round and then call it a video. Well, those are certainly all cards. Okay. I'm keeping this one just on the grounds of Fabled Passage to Swamp, Swamp into Stitcher's Supplier. Oh, that glitch is super annoying. And in the turn. What am I playing? You'll never know. Oh no! Are we about to get mirror matched? Oh, this is gonna be hilarious. We put a Kroxa and a Claim to Fame in the grave, so we can use the Fame side later. Alright. I don't think we're completely mirror matching. I think he's got his own weird shenanigans going on. Because who in the world uses typhoid rats? Well, I don't think we're going to find out. I think we're going to play Duel of Possibility, put Kroxa into the graveyard, and then we are going to Spark Harvest. No, we're not going to do that yet, actually. I think at this point we're going to attack because, yeah. Either he takes 2 damage or he loses creatures. Okay, blocking Stitcher's Supplier. Not blocking. That was actually kind of a depressing loss. The Call of the Death Dweller, I mean. Grim Dancer. That could be an interesting card to deal with. So he's pulling the whole Death Touch Lifelink thing. I think this might end up being a Death Touch focused build. Okay, so we are going to hopefully get this mouse to start working. There we go. Play a Dragon Skull Summon and then cast Kroxa. Exiling Fabled Passage, Duel Possibility, Stitchers, Spark, and cast a Lockwind. Wait, is there another one back here? Oh, the Death Dweller. Let's keep that because we can't revive Call of the Death Dweller. So yeah, enjoy having all the Death Touch that you want. It's really not gonna matter. I have Kroxa. Also, I'm most likely just going to Spark Harvest this turn. No attacks. Hooded Blightfang. Okay, so it's Death Touch Tribal, that's what's going on. Fantastic. Call the Death Dweller. We're going to go ahead and use Spark Harvest, sacrificing. We're going to go with the Blightfang because that's actually more concerning. And we'll play Call the Death Dweller, and of course get the Blood Rage Brother and our Vessel. Put these special counters on this one, and just get a flyer out of the other. Then we will we have to discard a card. I think we're gonna have to discard the Cathartic Reunion because I can use a Braid next turn to get rid of that stupid Grim Dancer. Play Castle Embreath, and we're not gonna attack this turn. Alright, they played a mountain. And they only have 2 additional cards. And one of them's under the interesting choices. No blocks. Alright, cool. We are going to go ahead and see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We only have 5 lands. There's no point in playing a second Kroxa. So we are going to go ahead and use a Braid to destroy the Grim Dancer. And then we are going to put Lurrus into our hand. And then attack with everything. Really limiting on the power. You could block the Kroxa, yeah, that would be favorable. Because it will not be hard to recast Kroxa. Let's see. Yeah. So I really have no problem casting another Kroxa later. Especially if we get a land. Cool, we got a land. So, Blood Crypt. Pay 2 life for it. And then we're going to cast Kroxa. And we will pitch Spark Harvest, Call, Cathartic, Abrade, and the other Kroxa. Because we don't need 2 of them. Cool. Now we're going to cast the Fame half of Claim to Fame on Kroxa. And our opponent is going to have to make some very interesting choices. I think we might have them here, though. Or be pretty close to it, anyway. Yeah, so the best option is to block the Fetid Imp and the Typhoid Rats on the Kroxa. They still take 4-3 from the Blood Rage Dweller, and they'll be down to just 1 Typhoid Rats, which they won't be able to do much with next turn. Wow. You kind of killed yourself there. You might have been able to salvage that if not for the fact that you forgot this thing has menace. Well, it wasn't a mirror match, and I have no idea why they had Archfiend's Vassal in their deck, as it was very clearly a Death Touch tribal build, but who cares? Well, that's it for this particular video. As always, thanks for watching and have a great rest of the day.